Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to BOS Sports. Marc Daniels, glad you're with us. We got a busy Friday show to get to. The NFL's first round last night, Magic and the Pistons tomorrow. I am in Salt Lake City, thanks to folks at Broadway Media and ESPN 700. I'm in a studio, and if you're watching on the stream, you can see me. Look, I'm why am I doing this, Chris? Why am I jumping towards the screen or something? But if you're on the stream, you can see me here.
We got 3D glasses. It's like Marc Daniels is coming right at us.
So here I am in Salt Lake. So thanks to the great folks here and their engineer who was kind of meet me here this morning. So I appreciate that.
What time did you get to the what time did you get to the studio?
What time did I get to the hold on.
What are you doing?
I got to turn the audio off here because I'm hearing myself. There we go. Okay. I got up at wait, I'm still hearing me back.
Yeah, I hear echo too.
1 second.
Did you have this with on the bridge?
Did I have one in the bridge?
Did you have the echo on the bridge?
No, I just got to turn this audio off.
What are you doing? God, amateur hour over here.
Now it's working.
There we go.
Okay. All right, back up on the stream. I got up this morning at 4:45, and my lone mistake was assuming an Uber driver in Salt Lake City available that early.
Yeah.
Because it showed, I'm 10 minutes to the station. Like, okay, that's no big deal. And then it was the Uber driver said it was 19 minutes away and was 26 miles away.
What?
So this woman who I'm guessing was in her like 60s, early 70s. She showed, I mean, she was great. She was fine. And it took 9 minutes to get from my hotel here. And the engineer was waiting for me in the lobby. So it was great. A gorgeous facility up here, like our place, a lot of different stations and so forth. So
26 we got miles away?
She came from 26 miles away.
She came. Okay.
She came from 26 miles away. All right, Josh Robbins going to join us in the Athletic. We'll talk about the Magic and Pistons because of Josh's window of availability. We have a lot of stuff with the draft to get to. Chris and I have a lot of things that we want to get to. Richard Hill's not with us today, so we'll do more draft. And Mike O'Donnell, all that stuff. Let's get everybody's favorite segment first, though.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great. Tuck, once again, did not like my joke yesterday, so I got to end the week strong here, Mark.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Why did the banana go to the doctor?
I don't know, Chris. Why did the banana go to the doctor?
He wasn't peeling well. He wasn't peeling well.
Okay. Josh is next.
Never fear. Marc Daniels is here. Welcome back to the Beat of Sports.
Talk with Josh Robbins, who covers the NBA and the Magic for The Athletic. He's on X and Twitter with Joshua B. Robbins. Follow his work there. And Josh is in Orlando, gets set for Game 3. Let me ask you, what stood out, what was surprising to you from Game 1 to Game 2 in that awful third quarter for the Magic? So what did you see that was the biggest difference?
In that third quarter, I thought that the Pistons played their most tenacious, hell-raising defense that they've played in the entire series in all 8 quarters. Ausar Thompson was great, and the Magic just didn't have the organization to deal with that third quarter. They missed some open shots, and Desmond Bane was called for a kick-out offensive foul that would have otherwise given them a free throw line jumper that he made. They didn't adjust well. They didn't handle that very difficult switching defense well. But what has surprised me most in the entire series is that arguably the Magic have played better than the Pistons in the majority of the quarters. So they're right in this series. And if they can generate the energy that they hope to generate at home, if they can hit a few more open shots, there is a chance that the series goes back to Detroit, not just 2-2, but 3-1, which I didn't expect either. I didn't expect either to occur.
Josh, after 2 games, what matchup do you think the Magic, or where do you think the Magic have an advantage, and perhaps what matchup do you think Detroit has an advantage, whether it's play versus play or just what one team does versus the other?
Well, Cade Cunningham is by far Detroit's biggest advantage. I'm not sure that anybody that the Magic have can slow him down. Now, Franz Wagner has been the primary person guarding him. I wonder if they entertain the notion of putting Jalen Suggs on Cunningham on occasion. And you wouldn't want to do that probably because it would put Suggs in foul trouble. I think Wendell Carter has handled Jalen Duren well. And Jalen Duren has only got his points, or the majority of his points, when Carter has had to help out and move forward defensively to try to contain Cunningham after Cunningham gets a step and is starting to approach the basket. That was one element there in Game 2 that got Duren going. But overall, what I thought was going to happen in this series has indeed happened. The Pistons have not vastly outshot Orlando with 3-point shooting. And that's the reason why the Magic can win this series, or at least keep it close. And that's why this series should remain competitive.
For Paolo, what's important for him tomorrow and the rest of the series that you see either what Detroit is doing or what he can do? What's the game need to be for him tomorrow?
He needs to get the ball more often below the free throw line. And that's not just endemic to this matchup, but it's especially important in this matchup where the Pistons have people who can slide in front of him and guard him from the perimeter to the goal. He needs to try to, well, it's not just him, it's really the offense has got to put him into situations where he can get the ball below the free throw line. And one of the reasons why that's so difficult is because he's not surrounded by good 3-point shooting. If the Magic had 4 good, or at least even above average 3-point shooters around him at any one time, everything would be so much easier for him. Everything. But they don't have those 3-point shooters. The one high-level, scare the opponent 3-point shooter the Magic have along in the starting lineup is Desmond Bane. And one great or even above average 3-point shooter is not enough. That's the problem with the entire roster construction of the Magic. And that's part of the problem Paolo faces. Now on his, for what he has to do, he's got to make decisions when he has the ball much more quickly. And I thought that he did an excellent job of that in Game 1, not as much in Game 2.
third quarter, in game 2, how does that happen? A lot of people point to it's been an interesting, frustrating year, obviously, for Jamal Mosley. The Magic have had a few of these in these third quarters. Do we just throw it away and go, look, it happens, it's the playoffs, and the majority of quarters the Magic have played well, or is that a concern because it was an issue during the season?
Concern. The players have to try to take it game by game rather than let many of these bad 3 quarters over the season weigh on them. They wouldn't be human beings if they didn't let the past weigh on them. I think one of the problems is that they don't make. Paolo didn't hint at it. He said it during the second half of the season. When the opponent makes an adjustment, the Magic don't make an adjustment right away. And I think that was a problem in game 2, where the Pistons stopped switching on pick and rolls, and the Magic got sped up. They took some bad shots. Paolo was one of the people on one sequence when the game had already started to slip well out of hand. He drove to the basket, and I think he got blocked, or he was blocked by the underside of the rim because he was surrounded, I think, by 3 guys. That's a serious issue. And when I ask questions about the third quarter, others ask questions about the third quarter. To a man, the Magic said that they didn't feel organized. They didn't know exactly what they were trying to accomplish on offense. They didn't know exactly where they could get their advantages from. And they didn't know exactly what actions to run. And part of what made it so bad is that all of a sudden Duncan Robinson got hot. And they found Duren for those drive and dish dunks. So, and then the Magic turned it over, which put the Pistons into transition. So the Pistons on offense suddenly, all of a sudden, got very efficient, and it wasn't just an avalanche, it was a tidal wave.
Magic and Pistons play game 3 tomorrow. I'm going to talk to Joshua throughout the playoffs of the Magic run. He's got a podcast to get to the top of the hour, so I respect that and the time you gave us. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk again. Appreciate it as always.
Pleasure's mine, as always. Take care.
Joshua B. Robbins is where you find the content on X or Twitter. And, some interesting things. Josh believes the Magic could go up 3-1 in the series and impossible. He also talked about third quarter, and when he tells you a lot of guys are like, I'm not quite sure what we were running. That's not good. But game 3 is set for tomorrow. All right. So appreciate Josh coming on. We had that window to get him, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the Magic and Pistons. We'll do more basketball. Mike O'Donnell coming up. Draft last night. Let's bring in Chris Vasquez back at our studios, who's wearing
CD Lamb
shirt. Is that
CD Lamb?
What is that?
That's the winners of the first round of the NFL draft.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, they did pretty well with one pick, so last night, interesting first round. And Chris, we talked about it. I know you and Tuck talked about it yesterday, and I was on briefly.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 picks end up going as you think they're going to go.
Yep.
And then the Cardinals, and I don't know, did the Cardinals find no takers to trade? And in the end said, well, then we'll take him. And that's why they took Jeremiah Love?
I still think that's a horrible pick. And, I'm watching the draft last night and the clock's winding down. And it's like, all right, they're working the phones. They were working the phones. They just apparently weren't trying to make a deal. They couldn't get Jeremiah Love's number.
But can I steal something that Kevin Clark said on SportsCenter last night, which I think is actually pretty smart and right? You love the player, you don't love the pick. And 2 things can be true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jeremiah Love, I think, is a very talented player, but you're kind of like, for the Cardinals, was it the right deal?
It doesn't make sense.
And if you have no taker, do you just pass and take somebody else?
You had so many more pressing needs, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You had Arvell Reese there.
Wait. Oh, okay, so you're saying then just take the defensive player.
Yes. If you didn't have any takers, or if there wasn't a deal that you absolutely loved, you stay there and you take Arvell Reese. But to me, I mean, it. I don't see Jeremiah Love having that big of an impact for the Cardinals for them to take him at 3. He's not going to improve their offense all that much.
By the way, everybody jumped on the line. He has more guarantee money than any other running back
Yep.
in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because of where he got drafted
Yeah.
and the money that comes with it. The Titans took Carnell Tate, which is a bit interesting about where they took him. The Giants drafted future Hall of Famer Arvell Reese.
With his 0.4 GPA.
Chris, you, I think, misread 40 time.
I don't think he knows how far 40 yards is, according to his GPA.
Like, Chris goes, he couldn't name another Giant. Do I care right now? It's about body bagging people is what it is, okay? If you're watching on the stream, you can see it's about body bagging people is what it is. Don't care about his GPA.
0.4? Does he even know his own name?
Don't even believe all the stupid hype that's out there with that stuff and everything. And then if you go down, Francis Malgo went to the Giants at 10. I was talking. I told you earlier. I was talking to Lejay Duzable last night. He thinks he's going to end up playing guard. He thinks he's probably not going to be a tackle, and Deuce knows better. Quickly, 10 o'clock hour, WYJM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. You have any more thoughts on top 10?
It went for the most part kind of like we were expecting.
The Chiefs at 6 to do that?
Let me see here. They went Mansour Delane. I mean, they essentially replaced Trent McDuffie, but again, you mentioned the guaranteed money. Mansour Delane, I think right now is making more than Trent McDuffie, based on where he was drafted. So the Chiefs don't really save money by trading Trent McDuffie, but essentially they drafted his replacement.
Yeah. Styles at 7 to Washington. I like Sonny Styles. I think he's going to be a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Tyson, they got a quarterback help, right?
Yep.
Like the pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns took a tackle. Listen, people don't get excited when you draft linemen, but you need linemen. Okay,
yes,
I mean, you have to help whoever's going to quarterback the Cleveland Browns, and then Malagoa goes at 10 to the Giants. Once the 2 receivers are off the board, I don't have a problem with the Giants did. You know? And listen, we eat this stuff up, and we talk. I have no idea if it's going to work. We love draft picks, and then we got to go see how they play. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a little bit. So then the Cowboys at 11. And your thoughts?
I did not think he would be there. I thought he could have gone 5. He could have gone 10. He probably could have gone 7. He could have gone anywhere in the top 10. And, I don't think the Dolphins were going to take him. So to give up the 2 5s to move up 1 spot seemed a little bit steep for me. And I was actually talking with Tuck when that draft happened. And he agreed too. He thought it was a little bit steep to move up 1 spot, but Jerry Jones got his guy and he made sure he was going to get him. So I have no issues with it. They essentially turned those 2 5s into 2 4s with the trade that they made with Philadelphia later on.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you answer first. The Dolphins took Caden Proctor.
Like you said, you got to build a foundation. You need to protect your quarterback.
I don't know if I like the pick, though.
Tuck didn't like it either.
Caden Proctor was supposed to be a generational type tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up being a good, large player. And forget the package on offense that they ran. But, man, I know we make guys big. He's listed 6'7", 350. He probably is more than that. And I don't know. I just kind of wonder about Caden Proctor.
Who would have made, I'm talking to you like you're a Dolphins fan, but who do you think would have made more sense at 12 for the Dolphins?
Well, I'm not. You can make a case for Reuben Bain in Miami.
Reuben Bain. Again, talking to Tuck last night, he wanted the guard from Penn State, Ione.
Who went who went 2 picks later. Yeah,
Yep.
I just wonder about Proctor. All right, let's get to the Rams. Chris is angry that the Rams took Ty Simpson.
I don't understand
He's
it. You have a
angry.
Super Bowl window, and you draft a backup quarterback who might not even be your backup. He might be a third.
So I have 2 theories, but I want to play some stuff first, okay? Chris, play what did I send you? 2
Yep.
I sent you 2 clips here, right?
Yep. You want the longer one? The Rams telling Ty Simpson?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll do the Sean McVay clip. So this is Les Snead talking to Ty Simpson, and we've all seen this stuff. It's the phone call, it's the audio of the GM or president or owner calling the player, and then they'll put the coach on everything. And it's why people believe Les Snead made this pick and not Sean McVay. But play the clip.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's Les Snead, Los Angeles Rams.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. We're sitting here at the 13th pick, so we're going to draft you with that pick. So I'm going to pass you to your new head coach, Sean McVay.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Pat, what's up, Coach?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, man. Well, congratulations, man. Excited to get to work with you. It's going to be a lot of fun, buddy.
Let's go make history, Coach.
Yeah. No, and hey, enjoy this night, man. You earned it. Have fun. Tell your family we're excited to meet him, and can't wait to get going with you, buddy.
Yes, sir, Coach. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So,
He's pissed, and I don't blame him.
now play the next clip. This is Sean McVay, right? The McVay clip?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I'll keep that between us. We'll see. He's going to compete with Stetson.
Ooh.
I don't understand it. Make it make sense.
There's even a moment that you're like, hey, Sean, just lie a little bit and just kind of say, oh, we're excited. He's got, tremendous upside, everything.
No, he shouldn't have to.
Okay. Can I run my theory by you?
Yes.
You're Les Snead. Okay. And Chris, I think you'll agree. You follow football enough.
Mm-hmm.
And our audience does as well. Organizations are run differently.
Right.
Meaning, forget Jerry and the Cowboys, but organizations are run differently, meaning a coach is involved. Pat O'Hara was talking about this on our show a couple of days ago. Coaches are involved to a degree. Some are involved more than others. Some are a key major voice in the ultimate decision.
Mm-hmm.
Some have GMs that say, I want your input, but I need you to coach players. You got to trust me to build a team. Okay. Philadelphia is that example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Philadelphia is that example. Houston is that example. Let the GM cook. Trust me, my scouts, I'm going to find the best players for you. And when I draft them, I need you to develop them. Now, sometimes the coach looks and goes, you gave me crap and I can't make anything out of it. Or sometimes like, okay, wow, great, let's go. The Rams, we have this perception of Sean McVay, young, good-looking guy, fiery, remembers every play from 10, 15 years ago. If you follow the Rams, Les Snead does most of that draft stuff. McVay's involved. So here's my theory. Sean McVay wants pieces to win another Super Bowl.
Yes.
Les Snead thinks I might have 1 year left of Stafford at quarterback. And my coach, I need to develop another quarterback at some point because, one, we're going to have to move on of Stafford, and two, are you going to be here? Everybody thinks that remember Sean Stafford floated with a TV thing before last season, right? Mm-hmm. If you're Les Snead, he knows Sean McVay better than you and I. Maybe he thinks, I got to get the next quarterback, and either A, I'm going to motivate you, Sean, to develop the next quarterback, or I can't let you just take the team down a path that when you want to check out, I'm left with nothing. It's just a theory. You probably disagree, but I'm thinking that's what led to Les Snead wanting Ty Simpson, not Sean McVay. React.
So I kind of do disagree with the theory because when have the Rams cared about the future? They don't care about the future. That's why they trade away their draft picks all the time to get veteran players to help their team win now. So to make this pick thinking about the future, when they drafted Stetson Bennett in the 2023 draft, they used a 4th rounder on him, and he's never seen the field. Not one snap. But now you're going to use a 13th pick on a Super Bowl ready team when you need help, probably at receiver because Devontae Adams is another year older. Puka Nacua just can't keep his head on straight.
Okay, wait. Okay. Can I stop you? Okay. At 13, based on how the draft went for receiver, who are you taking?
They could have gone KC Concepcion.
Okay.
Someone because they also need
13.
they need someone who also helps with the punt return.
Would you use a 13th pick on him? Or Lemon?
Why not? You use it on a 3rd string quarterback. So make that make sense.
Again,
It doesn't, Mark.
what nobody knows is, did the Rams try to get out? Did the Rams try to move down? And then I'm not saying it's a panic pick. I'm just trying to sell you on a theory. It's arguably the most talked about draft pick today. I mean, it is.
The worst. It is the worst. A lot of people want to rip on the Vikings for the Caleb Banks draft pick.
Yeah, but no one really knows who Caleb Banks is.
Stetson,
I mean,
or
outside of
Stetson
those in
Bennett.
Florida.
Ty Simpson is the worst draft pick of the 1st round. It's
Well, today it may
it's
be.
hands down. He's
It
not
may
going
be
to see the field.
He won't see the field this year. I mean, you hope he didn't see the field this year because Stafford's healthy. But can I ask one last question on this, okay?
Yes.
You will acknowledge that coach, GM, not just in Los Angeles, but will disagree on a 1st-round pick.
Yes.
And all I'm saying is I think that was Les Snead saying, this is what I see as our future at quarterback, and I chose to address it now. McVay, clearly body language, doesn't agree, but that's why I brought up before. You have teams that sometimes have that makeup. Now, does it tick Sean McVay up to the point of like, what do I want to stick around here for? I don't know. I doubt that, but it'll be a pick watching now for quite some time. We got more of the draft to get to. Malachi Lawrence drafted by the Cowboys. We'll talk about that. The Dolphins had another pick. Of course, the Jags didn't. And, of course, the Bucs and Reuben Bain. I want to get to how he was there for the Bucs to get. We'll do that. More draft because Richard Hell's out today. We'll do that next.
What's good, locos? This is Angel from the Monsters in the Morning on Real Radio 104.1, and you're listening to the voice of UCF, Marc Daniels, and the Beat of Sports on FM 96.9 The Game. You want real sports talk? You got it right here.
Richard Hale's out, a little birthday trip for him. I'm in Salt Lake City at the studios of ESPN 700. I thank their staff for letting me pop in here. If you're watching on the streaming, access that on our YouTube page, 96 The Game Orlando. Click on the logo on the live button or get us on Twitter for the video stream. Just go to 96.9 Game On, and of course FM 96.9 AM 740, and always on the iHeart app. The rest of the first round begins to unfold last night. We're talking through the Ty Simpson pick. Bucks get Ruben Bain. This was interesting, right? Because in November and December, didn't most people think Ruben Bain's going to be a top 7 pick?
They thought he'd be a lot higher than where he went. Yeah.
The auto accident stuff is interesting because it did not happen recently. It happened a couple of years ago. If you read about that situation where an individual did lose their life, Ruben Bain was not charged with anything. He was not drinking and driving. I don't know if the short arms, Chris, had something to do with it. But then the Bucks are there at 15, and how do you pass on Ruben Bain?
Yeah.
And then if he's as angry as he was during the draft last night, then you got a good play.
Yeah, I thought the Bucks could have used a receiver, but the way the draft fell out, probably better for them to maybe wait. Again, maybe they could have gone KC, Concepcion. I'm given everything with Mekhi Lemon. I'm glad they didn't take him. I don't know what his deal is. But their defense wasn't bad last year. They do lose Levante David to retirement. So, big shoes to fill there. But watching Ruben Bain at Miami, that dude was a monster, regardless of arm length or not. Like, regardless if that was an issue or not, he was just a beast. And
yeah, there's some guy. I'm sorry, finish your point.
I was just going to say it's a solid pick.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to be an NFL player personnel director. You can watch and go, okay, that guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's just really good. And you watch Ruben Bain, and kind of like David Bailey. I watch Bailey because a ton of Texas Tech football. Like, he's just good. Like, he's just everywhere making plays. And I think Bain was one of those guys. If you're the Bucks, you're like, I can't pass on this. I don't know what their draft board was. Whether he's at 5, 6, 7, you're like, okay, he's still here, so we're going to take him. Is it the biggest need that we have? No, but I think it's really hard to pass on a guy like that. Can we play the clip of the 16th pick? So the Jets, who a lot of people think had a great night, Chris, maybe you're in that group. The Jets, who are bad. Obviously, we're going to get a good player with David Bailey at number 2. They had 3 picks. Here's how the 16th pick went on the phone call that the Jets made to Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end of Oregon.
Damn it.
How fitting is
He probably wishes it was a prank. He probably wishes it was a prank. Poor guy.
The family's like, who was it? It's the Jets. Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay. One follow-up, right? When he said, I'm going to hand you over to AG, do you think Sadiq knew who he was talking about?
I don't think so.
No.
Wait, who's their defensive or who's their offensive coordinator?
Yeah. The Attorney General? Isn't that interim right now? Who is that? Yeah. Wow. I thought it was a prank call. That's just fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's just, oh, my God. Caleb Banks went to the Vikings at 18. That was a little bit of a reach. Yeah. Brian Flores regardless of what you think happened at Miami, he's a good defensive coach, very good defensive coach.
Yep.
But a little bit of a reach at 18. Makai Lemon to USC at 20. I don't know if it's an act or if he just does that all the time. I don't know.
I
don't know. And clearly, clearly AJ Brown thing is going to play itself out. I'm sorry, good.
Like when Makai Lemon got drafted, that pretty much sealed the fate of AJ Brown. We know he's going to get traded, I guess, to the Patriots post June 1. I was talking to you during the break, his combine interview where he's got the weird stalkerish killer kind of a look. And then the interview he did after getting drafted, and I don't think they could have gone out of that any faster. I don't know.
All right, Akeem Messeter goes to the Chargers at 22. By the way, he's 25 years old.
He's about as old as I am.
Yeah, well, you wish. Then the Cowboys are up, and I was telling you, and I mentioned this in the bridge with Kelly. So I'm watching the draft on my phone. I had the Nick game on my computer, and I was at UCS baseball practice. We're here in Salt Lake City playing Utah. Press box is closed. I'm sitting with a dugout, and I got the two devices that I'm watching. And I was watching, I don't know which feed you watch, but I was watching the game day guys for the draft last night. And they come out of the commercial break, and Saban's got a hot mic, and he goes, "Oh, boy, this is a reach." And I don't know what he's talking about. And I said, the Cowboys. I go, "Oh, is it Malachi?" And it was. And the Cowboys drafted Malachi Lawrence. I say this.
I'm trying to find that clip, by the way. Because usually something like that, people post it like that.
Oh, I heard it. And it was Nick Saban's mic. Look, I say this partially a bias because of my situation with UCF. But I loved Malachi Lawrence. First, the person, just a great guy, worked hard, got better each year, took on a lot of guys that were bigger, stronger than him when UCF got to the Big 12. He just got better. He worked on his body. Dimitri Brim was a defensive analyst for UCF. He played at UCF a decade ago, and he was an analyst, and now he's the assistant defensive line coach for the Cowboys. Chris, I said this earlier, two people like, well, there's a connection. His D-line coach. No, he's the assistant D-line coach in Dallas. And yes, there's a connection. He may have played a role, but Dimitri Brim didn't convince Jerry Jones to draft Malachi Lawrence, okay? Other things had to happen. But I hope it works out well. Chris knows I hate the Cowboys for obvious reasons, but I will love Malachi Lawrence as a Cowboy, and I hope he does well.
I hope he turns out to be better than the last UCF player that the Cowboys drafted. You know who that was?
That was the D tackle, right?
Second round pick.
What's his name? Oh gosh, tell me.
Tristan Hill.
Tristan Hill. Yeah, that didn't work out well.
No, it didn't. And now he's dealing with some off-field issues.
Yeah. But I hope Malachi is very successful, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope it works out. Casey Concepcion went to Cleveland at 24, and then the draft just kind of Dolphins at 27 took Chris Johnson, the cornerback from San Diego State. And again, they were moving. Miami did some things to move around, and the Dolphins the Dolphins wide receiving room might be the worst in football.
It is.
Right? The secondary room is not far behind in Miami. So they needed help, and they addressed it. To say that I watched a lot of Chris Johnson football at San Diego State would not be accurate, but I know he was a guy, PFF rated him very high. So the Dolphins took him at 27. Any other thoughts? Jets took Omar Cooper from Indiana with the 30th pick. Jadarian Price was a little bit or bigger head scratcher to take at 32. Like, I don't think there was a big run up to get Jadarian Price at 32.
I don't think we can question the Seahawks with them being Super Bowl champs.
Okay. All right. Can I do something, because you know me, grading draft classes.
Who are your winners and losers right now, Mark?
Well, no, it's hilarious to me. A minus. Like, I don't know the difference of like A minus, B plus. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I love the comedy of the draft grade, and I love the draft, but I have no idea. I don't know if the two Cowboys are going to be good for Dallas, if the two Giant players are going to be good. It is somewhat of a crapshoot. You can go hunting for things and go, here's the top 5 busts. So can I take you back to 2023, Chris?
Okay.
Okay, PFF, I think you'll recognize a respected football site that does player grades and a whole bunch of analysis, right?
Yep.
Now they grade players on elite, very good, good, average.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the 2023 draft. This is after the first round. Okay. Bryce Young, elite. We can agree Bryce Young's not been elite, right?
No.
Okay. CJ Stroud, very good.
His
Will
rookie
Anderson.
season, yes.
Will Anderson, good. Anthony Richardson, very good. What? I'm just telling you what they posted.
You're good.
I'm not going to do the entire draft. Oh, 8. Bijan Robinson, average. Okay, average. Jalen Carter, elite. Again, I'm not saying that they get it all wrong, and they do get some right. Jahmyr Gibbs, what do you think that in 23 for his grade? 12th overall pick.
We'll say average.
Below average. Swing and a miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else did I have from this that went back? Kalijah Cansey for the Bucks. He's been a decent player.
What about your
Jackson
boy
Smith?
at 25, Deontay Banks?
Hold on. Jackson Smith and Jigba, elite. They were right about that, right? Zay Flowers, average. It's been a little bit better than average. Jordan Addison, good. Deontay Banks for the Giants, very good. The Giants benched him. Okay? Benched him that year. Okay? That's how bad it was. Who? Dalton Kincaid?
I didn't say
Then elite.
he's been
a good receiver.
Decent.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is, well, recruiting classes in college football have changed drastically, but you got to let guys go play.
Yeah.
Go play, and by the time you conclude that rookie contract, then you can go back and look. I know why we do it, but you can go back and look and at least give somebody a couple of years to really figure out if somebody worked out or not. But I understand that. We'll get Hoop Talk with Mike O'Donnell when the Beat of Sports on this Friday continues next.
This is Step Back 3 with MOD.
Straightaway three, it's it.
Let's talk college hoops. Let's talk hoops with college basketball analyst Mike O'Donnell.
Talk hoops on these Fridays. A lot to get to. Mike O'Donnell. I am in Salt Lake City, broadcasting today in the studios of ESPN 700. Thanks to the Broadway Media Group out here. Mike O'Donnell is back, I believe, in Orlando. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I am in Orlando. I hope you enjoy Salt Lake City. I have a dad joke for you that I don't know if Chris likes it or not, but I like it.
A second dad joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
a lot of pressure.
If you ever have an irrational fear of using the escalator, you don't have to worry because there are plenty of steps you can take.
Hey-o.
Wow.
Don't like that one? You don't like that one? I feel like that's pretty good.
You know, let me just say,
good.
to kind of bring it back to put us on a better course, my wife couldn't stop laughing last week at your concession stand story. And like she wants to be there the next time the O'Donnells have to host a concession stand.
I don't. The only way I'm ever going to do it again, the only way, is if you do it with me.
I told you, if I'm in town and I can be there, I want to be your assistant and I want to be backup when they go, can you check the back? And I'll just pretend like I'm walking down the steps that you see somebody, let me check down below. Yeah,
I kept walking. I mean, I kept going to the back area of the concession stand. There's nothing back there but the ice machine. But I kept going back there, and I was standing there for like 5 seconds, and there's nothing back there, man.
Yeah.
Holy
Let's
moly.
dive into some basketball. I want to ask you, my theory's always been, look, there are good coaches, there are average coaches, there are bad coaches, but I believe NBA coaches earn their money and earn their fame by what they do in the playoffs. I think an 82-game regular season is more about massaging egos, keeping a locker room kind of on track. But X and O's happens in a 7-game series. What is the difference when you got to play somebody in a 7-game series versus the 1-game scenario, other than the obvious? In one game, it can be over. But how teams make adjustments in the course of a 7-game series and how that impacts every game and impacts players as well.
Whoa, man, that's you could write a whole book on that. So from a player's perspective, actually, let's start with the coaches. From a coach's perspective, it's all about the film reset. Is after you, when you're a fan and you're watching a game and a team loses, and you go back, maybe you go back home or you go to the bar and hang out with your friends. You kind of talk about the frustrations and what needs to happen, and then you go to sleep, and then you wait for the next game. Well, coaches, NBA coaches, they're going to be up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, poring over the film, trying to analyze, where did we create that advantage? And were there times in which we didn't create the advantage? And it's even things as minute as this is our angles on our slot pick and rolls were about a foot too late. I mean, it's literally that kind of, it can be that kind of detailed of where, okay, we saw 6 pick and roll plays in the slot. The slot is kind of in between the wing and the top of the key on the court, just from a basketball terminology standpoint. And we missed six, there were 6 pick and rolls in the slot in which our angle was off by a foot. And if we would have had even a one better angle, if our angle was better in 3 or 4 more times, man, that could have changed the possession. It's not about whether you get good action out of pick and roll. I mean, it goes down to that detailed of amount. So that's one of hundreds of things that coaches are going to look at from a super detailed standpoint. So, okay, can we take a handful of these corrections and can we implement them in practice? First you show it on film, then can we implement it in practice, and then can it be implemented in the game? And it can get that detailed. From a player's perspective, the positives are if you have a bad shooting night, if you have one bad performance, you do professionally have the ability to shake that off and be free of that, knowing that you've got another game. One of the best feelings in the world is if you have a poor shooting night and you hop on the plane and you fly back home and you sleep in your bed, and then you get up shots in your practice gym or the arena in which you're playing at home, knowing that you have a game the next day. It's one of the great feelings in the world of where to get back on track at home from a shooting perspective, it's very freeing. It can be very helpful knowing that you've got a couple games back at home coming back from the road. So there are positives you can take away from the 7-game series. There are negatives to where, there are players. It doesn't bar the elite shooters, but the average to good shooters, if you're in a shooting slump in the playoffs, you overthink it. You either start forcing shots, or you stop taking shots that you should take because for fear of missing the shot, and that has just a dramatic snowball effect. And there's so many players, even if you're the best in the world, if you don't have a short memory in the playoffs, it can really damage your game. And when you damage an individual's game in the playoff, that has such a huge snowball effect for the rest of the team. So the psychological effects, even more so than the physical effects on how you adjust, number one, and number two, that mental capacity for either willing yourself into fixing something or forcing yourself to have a short memory and let go of previous bad performances is everything in the playoffs.
I've been a defender for Paolo for a lot of reasons, and one of the reasons I defended him this year, and I'm not saying he's not without criticism, but the Magic still have not gotten better shooting. And Josh Robbins was on earlier, and he brought the point up that imagine if he had 4 good shooters, which in the NBA, that's kind of what you need to be a championship team. But I believe that would help his game dramatically if teams had to be more honest about defending 3-point shooters. Can you give me your view on Apollo of what we've watched, which I still think is good, wasn't great this year, but good, but the difference of knowing if you've got, forget 4, even if I had 2 absolute elite 3-point shooters, what that does to his game?
Yeah, he's an all-star player that could average close to 30, could be averaging 30 a game if he had 2 things. Number one is if there were more shooters on the floor. It's no secret. Every Magic fan knows it. Mark, you've talked about it. Josh has talked about it. We've all talked about it. The Magic have this great defense, and they got some awesome ancillary pieces, and they have an all-star in Paulo, and Franz Wagner is that, borderline all-star, great cornerstone player. And the issue is shooting around them. It's not just about making the threes. The threat of the 3-point shot is sometimes either as important or even more important to your offensive efficiency and success. What that does is, if you watch that game, go back and watch that game, that loss to the Pistons, of the way the Pistons were playing defense on both Paulo and Franz, it's no secret. They're packing it in. Paulo and Franz virtually have no space to operate in ISO and one-on-one. Anytime they're driving, the Pistons are sending multiple bodies because they say, you have to beat us 1 versus 2, and if you kick it out, we will live with the Magic shooting contested threes every time on driving kicks. And that's how the Pistons won that game, is they packed it in and they forced Franz and Paulo to try to make plays ISO on 1 versus 2, not just 1 versus 1. No, so to get back to this more specifically to Paulo, I said, number one, he needs more shooters around him, which will drastically help his game. But Mark, he is going to have to become a better 3-point shooter. He is. That's also not a secret. It's not a knock on his game. He's incredible. It's every player needs to go through the evolution of their game. You need to add something. You need to increase in a certain area. And if Paulo would have more opportunities to score, if teams treated him as a close to 40% 3-point threat, that's a big jump. That's a big ask. I'm fully aware. It doesn't happen overnight. But that's the next evolution of his game. And that's the next evolution of this Magic franchise around Paulo, is he has to become a better 3-point shooter, while simultaneously they must add more 3-point shooting around him.
Let me ask you about a guy that I saw in person, watched his season, and I said he's going to be a better pro because of just the way that game is. And then to be paired with an all-star guard. B.J. Edgecombe got to work with Tyrese Maxey this year, and I think the two of them at times are better when Joel Embiid is not playing because of the way they play. But I always thought he played 1 year at Baylor. I thought, man, that kid in an open NBA game is going to be incredible. And he's good. And, man, how much has he benefited by playing with Maxey? But your thoughts on B.J. Edgecombe and the player that is just better suited for the wide-open NBA game?
Against the Celtics, that was 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, when he had 30.
Yeah.
Man, he was hitting threes like, whoa, wait a second. If that's going to be the future of his game, I mean, you want to talk about all-star caliber potential. I mean, not even caliber. I mean, that dude he's so good. And you were exactly right when you saw him at Baylor and his ability to, in the open floor, how smart he was matched with that physicality and athleticism. And then you're adding in a potential three-point shooter because you see his form, Mark. Like sometimes when guys shoot, you're like, I don't know if we got to fix mechanics stuff. I don't think the mechanics have to be fixed. I think it's just more of a confidence issue. He dropped 30 against the Celtics, and that was at Boston. He was awesome. He does benefit from Maxey, who is just so good, especially out in the open floor. And you're right. You're right. There's more freedom. There's more ability for him to feel like he can just attack when Joel Embiid is not on the floor. So Edgecombe is really good. That tandem in Philly, if they can keep that together for the next couple of years, Mark, and if I don't know what they're going to do with Joel Embiid, but you're 100% right. That could become one of the best backcourt duos in the NBA.
One last one. It's on college basketball. I don't know if they're serious about moving quickly, but the 5 for 5 has a lot of coaches kind of wondering because they've given out all their money. They've given out all their roster spots. If they do this and all of a sudden players that thought they were done or get a fifth year, JaMychal Stillwell's one at UCF, although he has entered the portal, but what would that mean if in the next 2 weeks they go, you know what, we're going now 5 for 5 and everybody that just played that has a fifth can play?
Chaos on levels that we may not have even seen to this point, which is a ridiculous sentence to even say. just talking college basketball. Mark, if you're going to do it, you can't do it for this upcoming season. I understand why they're going to try to grandfather it in because then they would get sued. I get it. I get all that. But if there was a way to do it, I hope they're looking at it in ways so that coaches and administrators and teams can prepare properly, because there's going to be a lot of seniors that are going to look at this and say, okay, I'd still like to play one more year. And these are seniors that may not go to the NBA, but guys that are averaging 15, 16 a game. They're starters, that potential captains that could have a whole other year of eligibility, and not just eligibility, but individually, you get a chance to make money. And there's going to be a lot of players who are going to want to come back to their same school, and they may not be able to because the rosters have already been completed and filled, and there's no more money left. So then they're going to transfer, and they're going to transfer to schools that maybe didn't missed out on portal guys, and that's going to have a trickle down to freshmen, and there's going to be decommitments from a freshman standpoint. I mean, it's going to be, Mark, I don't know, man. Just conversationally, I'm legitimately asking you this. Why is it 5 years of eligibility to play 5 years? Why is it not 5 years of eligibility to play 4 years?
Well, we had that and lost in court, and I don't have the honest answer to your question. I just think they've decided forget it, 5 for 5, because the 5 and 4 kind of meant you were going to have the red shirt and then you had the medical red shirt. To me, if you go 5 for 5, we're done with medical red shirts, and then you're going to have, well, wait a minute, this guy blew his knee out twice.
Yeah.
And then my answer is going to be, I'm sorry for his situation, but hopefully he got to play 2 or 3 years of college, but he didn't play 5. I'm sorry that he got hurt.
Yeah.
It's cold, but I think you have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the cold reality of where you have some influential individuals that have relationships with state attorney generals who sue the NCAA, which effectively are just suing your own university for a chance of maybe getting to, to 8, 9 college football wins because you want this one defensive tackle to play. Like it's ridiculous, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you if it happens this season, there's going to be a lot of coaches that are going to be very upset, and including athletic directors and administrators and major donors, because there's going to be some shuffling of the deck of cards that are already in place. The portal is chaotic enough. And now you're adding into this piece of where you have a lot of seniors who are really good, who are on the way out, and say, wait a second, I can play. I got one more year. Let's go. Sorry. We literally do not have any roster spots. What do you mean you don't have any roster spots left? We had to fill it out. So now I have to transfer and leave. Okay, where can I go? Oh, now that trickle down effect is going to be absolutely enormous. Man, Mark, right now, there's very little coaching basketball going on. You're just putting out fires constantly. That's all it is.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great week. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, Mark.
Mike O'Donnell, good insight on a lot of things, both NBA and college. 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next.
Let's really do the news.
Yes. Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYJ Orlando, WJRR, HD2 Cocoa Beach, the Beat of Sports. Marc Daniels. I'm in Salt Lake City with UCF Baseball playing Utah. Chris is back in our studios. Chris, I'm ready to give out my draft grades. You ready?
Do it. Give it to me.
A-, C+, B, B-, B-, A-, C. There you go. Draft grades.
Way to go in depth.
You know, I love a good draft grade. NFL first round last night. Fernando Mendoza is the first pick. He was with his family, not in Pittsburgh last night. Can I take back a little bit about what I said about Mendoza not being there?
And what are you taking back?
You know, his mom and her medical condition.
Yeah, I saw them talking about that last night.
That did make me give pause because she does not. It's very hard for her to travel. It's very hard for them to kind of go to a lot of places and so forth. So I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving. I still think the first pick of the draft, it special should be there. But because of his mom's medical condition, I do understand. He was the first pick of the Raiders. David Bailey went to the Jets. Jeremiah Love goes to the Arizona Cardinals. Carnell Tate to the Titans. The Giants took Arvell Reese. Chris, for some reason, is upset about the Giants drafting a guy that had a low GPA.
No. I'm not upset about it at all.
We're not about taking student athletes. We're looking for guys to put people in body bags.
I don't think the dude knows his name.
Doesn't matter. As long as they get double-digit tackles, I don't care.
And then you got Cam Scatterbo headbutting chair. That's going to be a great team.
Francis Malagoa, the Miami Hurricanes, the tackle, the pick of the Giants, so he'll probably play guard. Caleb Downs with the Cowboys at 11. The Dolphins' first pick, they took Caden Proctor, the 6'7". By the way, I like how PFF lists 6'7", 350 plus. Is that like 352? Is it like 375? What is it? And then again, I was watching the ESPN feed with the game day guys. I don't know if that was on ABC or what, but the feature they go to, which is why, partly why I do wonder about this pick. And I get it. They're doing some of the profile stuff, right? They go to the pick and he's explaining about, why one of his names is Crispy. Because of Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm like, yeah, this is helping, right? He's talking about his obsession with Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. What do we got? We got the guy that's addicted to Krispy Kreme. What do you mean, like a couple? No, like a couple dozen. Yeah. Like he says, my roommates and I, we just love Krispy Kreme donuts. Chris, I don't think he's walking in getting decaf and one donut, okay? When Caden Proctor walks in, I'm guessing it's 2-3 dozen donuts, and he's not sharing, right? He's not sharing.
Probably not. You better. You better hope, as a Dolphins fan, that he gobbles up the defensive lineman.
I mean, it is a good donut, but again, my concern is Caden Proctor never dominated like people thought. He was a big guy. I'm not saying he was a bad player, but he was not a dominating tackle during his time at Alabama. The Rams with a surprise pick of the draft, taking Ty Simpson at 13. If you haven't watched, go look up Sean McVay body language and tell me if you think he's fired up for the pick. When the Bucs came up at 15, Ruben Bain was on the board. They jumped on the Miami defensive player, and he joins the Buccaneers at 15. As the draft then continues, the Vikings surprised some by picking Caleb Banks, the interior defensive lineman from Florida. Not that Banks isn't good, but nobody had him going that high at 18. Mekhi Lemon was drafted by the Eagles, the wide receiver from USC, number 20. Again, he's odd. Just again, I don't know if it's an act or what. But Chris, you saw the story. He's on the phone with the Steelers at 21, who's telling him, "We plan on taking you," and then listen to the Eagles then draft him. How about that?
Yeah, that was wow. That's why you don't get on the phone with prospects before you're on the clock.
Akeem Mesidor, the other edge for the Dolphins, for the Hurricanes, drafted by the Chargers. And then at 23, the Dallas Cowboys took UCF's Malachi Lawrence. Chris is happy with both of the Cowboys picks. Would you be happy if he wasn't a UCF guy and they drafted a defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys need help all over over the defense, so I'm completely happy.
Nick Saban thought it was a reach at 23 to go pick Dexter Malachi Lawrence. And then the Dolphins came back up again at 27, took Chris Johnson, the cornerback from San Diego State. Rounds 2 and 3 set for tonight. NBA basketball last night, the Hawks beat the Knicks 109-108. Knicks had the lead. C.J. McCollum had a big shot. New York had a final possession, and not a good one. Last two possessions for Jalen Brunson, he airballed and dribbled into a double team, lost the ball, and the Hawks win at 109-108. I can't have good things in sports. I just can't. The Raptors outscored the Cavaliers 72-50 in their second half, and they get a win in the series now, down 2-1 after the 126-104 win over Cleveland. The Timberwolves 25-11 first quarter and a 61-39 halftime lead. They cruise to a victory over Denver 113-96. They go up 2-1 in that series in Minnesota. Tonight, the Celtics play the Sixers. That series tied at 1. Lakers up 2 on the Rockets, and the Spurs and Blazers have split their first two games. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, the Magic are home to take on the Pistons. That series even at 1. Detroit is a 2.5-point favorite in that game. Then Thunder and Suns and Knicks and Pacers and Nuggets and Timberwolves, the Saturday schedule in the NBA. We'll have coverage of the Magic tomorrow beginning at 12:30. Tip set for just after 1 o'clock. NHL hockey tonight. Lightning and Canadiens play game 3 of that series, which is even at 1. And it's been really good if you've had a chance to watch that. Last night, Buffalo beat Boston 3-1. Carolina goes up 3-0 on Ottawa with a 2-1 win. And the Avalanche go up 3-0 on the LA Kings with a 4-2 win. I'm in Salt Lake City, and the buzz in this town, Chris, it's not about Utah players getting drafted in the first round. Some of it is. It's the Mammoth play their first ever home playoff game here tonight.
Oh, that's exciting.
Against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and there's Mammoth buzz at the station that I'm broadcasting from and around the town. Gonna be fired up.
I think I see. Is that a Mammoth newspaper or Mammoth something right next to the jersey that I'm looking at?
Behind me?
Yeah. So next to the
It's
18.
like it's like a towel that you would wave.
Is that a Mammoth towel?
Yeah, and then in
Nice.
the there's another studio next to me that's got a big Mammoth jersey, and yeah,
Nice.
so that's tonight. And tomorrow, like the largest marathon in the state is run in downtown Salt Lake City. So town's busy and a buzz, as they say. All right, that's what's happening. We come back. Week in review next.
Missed anything during the week?
What?
We've got you covered.
Yeah! Here we go!
Let's take a look back at the week that was. It's the Beat of Sports Week in Review with Marc Daniels.
Time to look back the week that was on this program. Back on Monday's show, we talked about the difference between the regular season and postseason coaching in the NBA. And the beauty of 7-game series is, and I've said this for years, regular season coaching in the NBA is about coaching egos and attitude. What it is. About coaching egos and attitude and juggling injuries. Playoff basketball is where the best coaches earn their money. Stars still make plays, but where coaches and their staffs make their money is what you do from one game to the next, and when game 2 becomes game 3 and 4, and how you say we got to do this, because there's no other scenario where you play somebody 4 consecutive games or up to 7 consecutive games, and that's where coaching comes in to play. And Detroit will look at things and try to tweak some stuff. If I'm Orlando, I don't have to tweak much, because why would I? Yeah, you have to assume they're going to. Fine. I'm still going to make it very difficult for their big to be a factor. If other guys make shots, we'll adjust. Yeah, I kind of didn't take into account that third quarter.
That's been an Achilles heel, honestly, for the Magic this year.
I still can't get over Josh Robbins on with us earlier when I asked him about it. He goes, yeah, the guys, I asked him, they didn't know what they were running. What? Not picking on Josh, like that was the Magic's game plan. Charles Davis, NFL Network, was on with us on Tuesday and talked about Jeremiah Love and just what he brings to the NFL.
We know each draft isn't the same, right? So apples to apples. If Ashton Genty went 6 last year to the Raiders, Love's a better prospect in my mind. He should go higher. We're talking Saquon Barkley at 2 territory. That's how good I think he is. I think he's the best player in the entire draft. But running backs, it gets dicey, right? Because for every hit we get, Saquon Barkley would count as a hit, but it didn't elevate the Giants, right? His hit was really with Philadelphia. Todd Gurley was a hit for a while, and then even in the Rams' run to the Super Bowl, he had already hurt his knee, and we'd seen the best of him. We just didn't know it. He was almost a non-factor through the playoff run, but he had been a hit prior to that. We can go on all day. All I know is the runner's still valuable. The MVP of the Super Bowl this past year was a runner, Kenneth Walker. I think Love is too good of a player to pass up. He gives me Christian McCaffrey vibes. And I really think that if the Cardinals aren't in deep discussion at keeping him at staying at 3 and taking him, then they're not doing their jobs well. And I think if I were them, I'd make sure I was open for business.
Wednesday, the quarterback Pat O'Hara on with us, and I asked Pat, with all the picks the Dolphins going into the draft, 7 of the top 100, where he thinks Miami may go.
I think with this new GM and new head coach, defensive-minded head coach, they're looking to get tougher and bigger, stronger and meaner, and not this perception of this like Miami, South Beach team. And I would imagine that's what they're going to do. And this draft, there's a lot of great defensive players in it that are big, strong, and fast. I mean, they broke records at the Combine this year. So it'll be interesting. On the side note, I'm so happy for Malik Willis. We drafted Malik Willis in Tennessee in the 3rd round, and who had never been under center throughout his whole football career, dating back to Pop Warner, never called a play in a huddle. Everything was new to him. And so, he and I spent a lot of time his rookie year learning how to call play in the huddle, learning how to get under center, and doing all those things. And he's such a good guy, and I'm really happy for him. Miami's lucky to have that guy. So that'll be fun to watch him play.
Yesterday, Cam Miller for his weekly visit. Mike tucks in it for me and Cam on what Malachi Lawrence brings.
Yeah, it's I liken him to sort of one of those, if you're not a draft pundit or a draft analyst or someone who follows it really closely, he's going to come out of proverbially nowhere
right.
for the rest of the nation as well. So they need to know about him. There's athleticism, there's burst. I think he sneaks in, and it's somewhere along the lines of like the Chiefs at 29, maybe even possibly the Niners if they want to get younger. And he's not a project, but he's definitely somebody who can come in and learn and bulk up a little bit, but also hone in on his speed and be a situational pass rusher right away. You invest the capital of a first rounder, you want him as a 3-down rusher. But I like him as somebody that's almost like a vanity pick for even the Patriots or the Seahawks would be the ideal landing spot for him as well because of how well they develop their players.
Cam Miller and thoughts on Malachi Lawrence and a recap of the week that was in this program.
Stud of the week.
I mean, we've talked about it. Let's just hear it.
Giant football. Way to
With
go,
the
Chris.
23rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Malachi Lawrence, defensive end, University of Central Florida.
Great pick. I mean, the Cowboys, they're starting to load up on edge rusher in that defensive line. Christian Parker's really implementing what he wants to do. I'm excited, Mark. Caleb Downs with the first pick at 11. Malachi Lawrence at 23. You add picks, you move up from the 5th round to the 4th round. It is a great draft. It's a great day right now. I'm an optimistic Cowboys fan, Mark.
Yeah, Chris usually is in April. It's like his best month of the year because he knows what happens when it comes to October, November, December. That's why he's fired up right now. The stud of the week, Chris, and you got to follow me on this. There's a time when most members of the football media and fan base thought that he was going to lose his job. And now, when you think about the best commissioners in pro sports, and Adam Silver's got some dings on him right now because of a number of things at the NBA. In Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred is, he's got a labor battle on his hands. Nobody likes Gary Bettman. But the role that Roger Goodell has played is incredible for the NFL and the owners. When the whole Ray Rice thing went down and other issues in the labor front were going on, people thought, hey, Goodell's not going to survive. There's no way, off the field issues with the players, won't survive. Roger Goodell, and the total package, it's 40 plus million. It's almost 60 million when you take into account all of the things that he's going to get from the NFL owners. And I don't know how many more years he's going to be the commissioner. But Chris, the NFL is the biggest sport in this country. It's not even close. He's made so much money for owners from when they bought the team to what it's worth today, the role that he plays. He takes the hits like a good commissioner does when criticism is out there. Roger Goodell is the stud. Here's another NFL draft with hundreds of thousands of people showing up
Set a
in
record.
the course of a weekend. And the league is as big as it's ever been, both nationally and internationally. And as we look back, and many people credit David Stern for being the greatest pro sports league commissioner for what he inherited and what the NBA became, and Stern deserves all the credit for what he did. But Roger Goodell has gone past anybody when it comes to the role. I may not like the role of the commissioner today, which I believe a commissioner of any pro sports league should, and any league, should look out for all parties. In this case, teams, players, fans. But that's not the role of pro sports in America. That commissioner works for owners. But I still think that Goodell and his team and leadership has led to this incredible growth in the NFL. The money that owners are making now, they can never have thought they were ever going to make this. And the dude's a stud as he kicked off another draft last night.
So, to your point, if he's making all this money for the owners, then pay the damn refs. Pay the refs. Don't go down another road of replacement refs because we know how bad that went. Pay the refs. You want to make money for the owners? Great. You've done it. You make gobs of money every single year. Pay the damn refs.
Stud of the week.
Say it again.
I said, let's go to Dead of the Week.
Right. So for me, I've bashed them enough. The LA Rams, Ty Simpson. The pick makes no sense, but I'm gonna play this clip. Bill Simmons. I know how much you love the section T-shirts. Bill Simmons is also not a fan of the T-shirts.
The color coordinated sections. I have some thoughts.
I loved it. You're going to be a Grinch on this?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
What do you want? You just want, what do you want? Just one color all the way around?
You've won 5 titles as a franchise. It's not the time for gimmicks.
What does it matter? What does it matter? Why can the fans not enjoy having section colored T-shirts? What is the big deal? And he was talking about the San Antonio Spurs, by the way. What was the big deal? I thought it looked cool. What is the big deal?
I'm going to move my camera. I didn't realize the sun was in the way as much as it is.
Like, get over it.
Yeah.
You guys want to? You always call me a Grinch. You're a Grinch.
But do you know what my debt of the week though is? Because and please confirm with you. I never tell you what is my
Correct.
stuff or you right. So my debt of the week are the Pittsburgh Penguins. Not because they're on the verge of getting swept by the Flyers, because they chose to wear alternate home uniforms in the playoffs. I can't stand it. I don't like that.
What does it matter what they're wearing?
You want to do it on a
Oh
random
my
Tuesday when the San Jose Sharks are coming to town.
Good Lord.
You don't mess with the hockey gods and, try to steal a few extra marketing dollars. You wear your home uniform. You don't do that stuff.
What does it matter? So, do you have an issue with what the Spurs did?
Do I have an issue? Not as much as what Simmons does, although the Knicks will never do it. The Celtics will never do it. The Lakers will never do it.
What does it matter? What
Playoffs,
does it
man.
matter?
Oh, the stupid little T-shirt. I'm in this section.
Who cares? It's fun for the fans. The fans get into it.
Hey, the
Lord,
Magic will do it tomorrow.
you guys are Grinches.
That's it for the week in review. Come back. Some of the things we'll be talking about on Monday when the Beat of Sports continues next.
The weekend is coming, and we've already seen the script. From the locker room drama to the mind-boggling calls, we're giving you the weekend spoilers on a Friday. Here's what will we be talking about Monday.
All right, Chris, I got several things for you. Ready?
Let's go.
Come on Monday, we'll talk about the Magic trying to go up 3-1 on the Pistons.
Hey, going out on a limb here.
Yep.
Okay, I like it.
I think.
I like it. That's really bold.
When somebody texted and agreeing with me about the Penguins' alternate uniforms, Chris goes, "Well, yeah, somebody texted, but I agree. How can you use that voice?
Mark is
Why'd you use that
right.
voice?
Oh,
Why'd
get
you use that
over
voice?
it.
Why'd you use that voice?
Get over it.
Why'd you use that voice?
You know why I use the voice.
Why'd you use that voice?
You know why.
Why'd you use that voice?
Ridiculous. You both are Grinches.
We're talking about the Celtics up 3-1 on the Sixers. Ooh. That means they got Boston win the next 2 games.
You do.
We're talking about the Rockets 2-2 with the Lakers and suddenly think that LeBron looks old without his help.
Okay.
We're talking about the Miami Dolphins taking a wide receiver in round 2, Chris Vasquez.
Yes, that I can see. They we talked about it earlier. They have the worst receiving room in the NFL. And I don't even think it's close.
I think the Dolphins will be taking a receiver in round number 2. Chris?
Mark?
Here we go. Ready on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about Carson Beck being the 3rd quarterback chosen. In the
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Carson Beck.
Do you have a landing spot?
How about Arizona?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Chris, come Monday, there'll be at least one report that will talk about potentially more damaging photos of Mike Vrabel, whether with Diana Rossini or whatever. And someone's going to suggest that maybe Mike Vrabel step away for a while. I didn't say resign, but step away from the upcoming mini camp or whatever you call them, OTA now, and just kind of get away for a while.
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
That one I'll disagree with.
By the way, I laugh when they go, he's still going to be available if the Patriots need to reach him this weekend. And he couldn't go to therapy on Monday? Just
why not? Why not just completely sever ties for the weekend? I get it's the draft, but you know what? He did this to himself. He put the organization in this situation, and now you live with the consequences.
Another one for you. Come Monday, we won't spend a lot of time talking about it, but somebody will use a 7th-round pick on Diego Pavia.
I liked him 2 years ago, and then he got very arrogant, and then the whole Heisman Trophy deal. For that, I don't want to see him drafted.
He would never do it because just his personality from what we've seen. But it would have been hilarious if 10 minutes after being drafted first, Mendoza sends Pavia a text. Hey, man, you gone yet?
Wow.
No? Not good? Too soon?
Probably not.
And then wait. At the end of tonight, he goes, out with my family. Still there? Any other point? Nothing.
That's great.
And then Saturday checks in at like 2:00 in the afternoon. Just running errands with the family. Who took you? Cold? It's cold, right?
Nobody yet. Still waiting.
It's cold. Oh man.
Someone wants to know if it's cold in the studio for me.
For you or me?
For me.
It's freezing in this studio. I am freezing.
I feel
in this studio.
I'm comfortable. I'm wearing my long sleeves. I got my hood up, but I'm comfortable.
I got this on and I'm freezing.
Look at Mark.
I'm grateful.
Look at my washboard abs. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Washboard abs.
Excuse me. If I drop my glasses, everything here. All right. I will add one thing before we get current from Maxine's on Shine. We've been so busy with the draft and the NBA playoffs. You may have seen, if you followed to whatever degree, the news yesterday, Hillsborough County officials told the Rays they don't think they'll make a June 1 deadline in reaching an agreement for stadium financing. They sent a statement out, and then the Rays did respond saying, hey, we hear you want us to address some things because Hillsborough County commissioners had several questions. They've gone back to the Rays. The Rays say, hey, we recognize these questions, going to work on them. And look, I don't think a stadium deal's dead in Tampa yet. This is standard negotiations. You're going to ask somebody to give you more than $1 billion, and they're going to have some questions about it. But I actually think this is not what the Rays wanted. The Rays wanted to ride the euphoria of new owner, new season, renderings, state land, and all that stuff. I think the Rays are hoping this was going to get through quickly, and it didn't work that way. So a little speed bump over in Tampa. And we'll follow that story next week. There'll be more stuff there. Let's bring in our good friend Kurt from Maxine's on Shine. He joins us on these Fridays. Good morning. I'm in Salt Lake City, sir. How are you?
I am outstanding, brother. Can't be any other way, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it was Merry Christmas, Christmas Eve last night, and we get 2 more days of it for our draft picks.
So you're a Buck guy?
Yes,
Bane.
I am.
I mean, doesn't he need to be in a? He needs to be in a billboard with the Bane mask today that says "Feel the pain Bane train
coming through your veins." Right now, there you go. Huh? The Bane train. Yeah, the Bane train coming through the veins. Feel the pain. That's it. I think we did it. We did it right there. We got his tagline. Let's call his agent. We'll get that done and taken care of. Congrats to your New York Giants as well, brother. I know you guys have been talking about a beautiful way to get started there. There is hope in the air, and of course for Chris. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what he's like in that booth today. I guess he's just probably bouncing all over the walls what his Cowboys did.
It's the only month he's excited though about the Cowboys, so give it to him.
Yeah. Chris, how excited are you, brother? How excited are you? Let's hear it.
Oh, I'm ecstatic, Kurt. I'm ecstatic.
Right on, brother. All right, very nice. Well, we all should be. 2 more days, lots of fun, and
Did we got
how's
Kurt?
life in Salt Lake City?
Or did we lose him?
I'm right here.
Know.
I'm right. Am I here?
We may have lost him. We'll try to get him back on.
Hello.
And hopefully get him back on. And remind you that the NFL draft does continue rounds 2 and 3 tonight. And, of course, Magic go tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I think there are a lot of good guys that are going to go in this second and third round. It's always interesting when you look at the potential picks and guys that can go on mock drafts in different rounds. But I think there's a lot of talent that's up there on the board for round 2 and 3. Okay, you knocked yourself off air, by the way. Are you back?
I am back. I'm back. I'm absolutely back. Okay. I thought maybe that was Chris bouncing around in the booth and maybe you pulled a wire or a plug or something. Yeah. No, anyway.
Good. All right, let's get to Maxine's on Shine. We got a few minutes left here. So tell us what's happening. A lot of stuff going on. Got a big dinner show next week. Big weekend here. What's going on?
All kinds of stuff. But the first thing I want everybody to know about, Mark, is right now, of course, as we promised last week, and we debuted it on the show, new happy hour set up for Maxine's on Shine, the fantastic 5 for 5 going on. And oh, by the way, on Fridays, as you're coming out and you had a hunch to munch on a little Rejuvenation bunch and start your weekend early, it is all day, 10 until 6:30. You say, Kurt, what's the 5 for 5? I know everybody's asking out there. $5. You get draft beers, Amsterdam vodka, wine, beer, sangria, mimosas. Absolutely wonderful. $5 all day long until 6:30. We're doing that on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. We actually call it happy hour and a half there. So it's 5 to 6:30. And of course, you still get the great deal. Our wine lovers board and a bottle of house wine or 2 craft cocktails for $30. Hey, man, we know everybody's going to be busy coming up into the summertime. You're starting to save money, that sort of thing. So we're trying to make happy hour be a wonderful time for you where you can save a little money and get some extra special delights. How about features for the weekend? We know you got a lot of opportunities to get out there. Tonight, we got the Bahamian fish chowders back. Probably not going to get that where you are, Mark, right now, I don't think. But when you get back in town, I think we'll still have it on the menu. A little bit of conch, shrimp, redfish, lobster, and a spicy tomato bread. Mm-hmm. You know, we get fancy. That's how we do it. You know, and a nice little bit of spice on that. You're going to enjoy that. Maybe have that with a glass of dry Riesling. Really beautiful. Opening acts, caprese skewers. Refreshing, man. Here we go. Some heirloom tomatoes right out of Ruskin, Florida. Absolutely gorgeous with the little mozzarella balls on that, a little balsamic glaze. Easy way to get started with your meal. Everybody was in love with the black drum. We talked about it last
2 minutes.
Hot fresh from St. Petersburg. We're going to put a pecan crust on top of that. Got a crayfish sauce with it, chive, mashed potatoes, and asparagus. And our feature is a Wagyu filet of sirloin with a baseball cut. Yeah, so that's going to be a beautiful little round sirloin there. Going to be 8 ounces in size, served with mushroom bordelaise, and chive, mashed potatoes, and asparagus. And the veal chop is back as well. Mark, of course, we've been talking about Rouge, Moulin Rouge, the tribute to our beautiful vaudevillian show that's coming next Wednesday night. You get 4 acts in that: sword swallower, juggler, a contortionist, and a big burlesque kind of routine that's going on with that. 3-course Parisian meal. Only got a few seats left for that 8 o'clock timeline.
1 minute.
Going on with that. Don't forget, everybody out there. Hey, by the way, Mother's Day. I don't need to say it again. May 10th is going to be here sooner than you know. Go online to MaxinesOnShine.com. Right there on the homepage, you can click on the Book a Table tab. Look for the times and tables that are available for you. While you're there, you can check up our live music entertainment, which we got all weekend, starting tomorrow morning, Saturday night, and Sunday. And, of course, see our menus. Other than that, man, I'm looking forward to having a great time seeing everybody out. Have a safe journey. Go Knights. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody here at Maxines on Shine very soon.
They say that. Go to MaxinesOnShine.com. Back to put a wrap of the week next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Draft continues today and tomorrow. Magic, of course, with the Pistons tomorrow. Chris, anything else you got this weekend?
Let's see. I got UCF baseball tonight. I'll be bartending out at Bowigan's Avalon Park Saturday, starting at 4. And then UCF baseball Sunday. Working all weekend. And, of course, NFL draft.
Head back to the hotel, get a good run in. Sunny and I think 52 right now. And then a little bit of lunch, and then we got baseball tonight, and busy a weekend. But the draft will be fun to watch rounds 2 and 3. As I mentioned before, a lot of good players will go today as well. That's what the NFL has done to make this into a multi-day event. The NBA doesn't need to do it, but the NFL does, and it works for them. I want to thank the folks out here for their hospitality. Broadway Media and ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City were kind of let me come and sit in the studio today and allow us to do the show and have the video feed. We always end the week telling you do something kind for someone who doesn't expect it. They'll appreciate it. You'll feel good about yourself, and it's easy to be kind. Chris, have a great weekend.
You too, Mark.
I'll talk to you later tonight, and we're back in on Monday to talk about everything that the week was in sports. We'll see you then for the Beat of Sports.